Great stuff, Mike. Thanks again. Let's shift gears. Let's get bullish and let's trade and let's buy. Alan Nuttman joins us, the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Okay, Alan, keeping us honest in a dreary start to the day, but as stocks turn around here, what do you think?
Well, we had a tough week last week. We gave back the gains of the week before. We had a nice base built, and then we didn't build on it. So that's a negative here, but we're hanging around this 3,900 level, which is critical here in the S&P is the halfway point of this recent bounce from the bottom. So the question is, are we going to test those old lows? We took out the September swing lows, but the VIX actually on Friday was essentially unchanged, even though we made new swing lows. Let's see what happens next, and I think we'll know a lot in the next couple days.
Okay, so we're kind of meandering here ahead of the Fed, and that being said, you're ready to buy. Maybe not the S&P, but you're going for BP.
Well, you are right there. It's a dollar index play. Now, the dollar, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, made a new key reversal, meaning new highs and a lower weekly close. That was significant. Now, we haven't taken out that top. We'll see what happens here. And rates are telling us that we're gonna peak at 4.5%, and then we're gonna stay there till the end of 23. But then we decline down to 4%. And we go to 3.5% after. And the impact of the dollar is big, obviously, on crude. Crude had been trading mostly between 85 and 95. Now, this morning it did get down to the 82 level. It didn't take out those last lows, and we're seeing a little bit of firmness, a little bit of bounce on support. So the play here is British Petroleum. And it's a stock here that's seen some insiders accumulation. It had been trading between 25 and 35 for the year. So we're at that 30 midpoint, and we're also above that 200-day moving average, which is technically a positive.
Okay, so it's come off those highs, but still trending upwards. Got faith that it can maintain some levels here, but you still want this trade. I mean, you want it to go up. You're not selling downside. You're buying upside. Right. Obviously, you can get a little bit of breathing room with the in-the-money call, but you still want this thing to try and push back to the highs. We haven't quite been able to do that recently, though.
No. So what I'm looking at is it's an energy play, and that's been the strongest sector of the year, obviously. We're down on a support level. We're on a key level that we can lean on of that 30 on a weekly basis. So I'm looking at an in-the-money option, a 27 call, which is going to have a delta of about 75%. So it's going to act like the stock instead of buying the shares of stock. And again, the low is 25, so I'm comfortable having the right to be long from 27. That option is trading for about 5, and it's near, or we're coming in today, it was about $4 in the money. So it's a deep in the money call. And if we just get to the top of that range at 35, then that option is going to gain about 50% or so.
Okay. All right. So a bullish expression and a mixed market here this morning, and doing it with crude oil down a percent, $84, lowest since February. That's not phasing you, though.
Well, I want to buy when it's at a level of support, and that's what we're leaning on here. So crude oil to me always has price pop potential. There's always something that can happen. You know, the hurricanes, the political stuff, there's always something positive that can happen for commodities, because obviously they're truly driven by supply and demand, and you see a quick reaction in that sector and in these stocks. Obviously is the play. January option has 4 months of time for bullish development. All it needs to do is get a little bit further in the money, and those options have big gains.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it. Chief Market Strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Buying some BP, looking for some stability in the energy market and some gains in the energy stock market. Let's revisit the housing discussion when we come back. Residential REITs are the inside of the house ETF, appropriately named, but it's been a tough year for real estate overall. So what will change as the Fed is set to hike 75 basis points this week? Is that the housing killer? We'll talk about it when we get back.